In the silences of the most ancient forests, whenever the notes flowed from Orpheus's lyre, the winds would cease their blowing, fierce rivers would stand still in their beds, and wild predators would lie down gently beside their prey to listen to his divine music. Orpheus did not merely rule over ears, he commanded the very fabric of the universe. Yet, this universal power gained personal meaning for the first time through his love for the delicate Eurydice. But destiny often hides the darkest shadows behind the brightest lights. On their wedding day, amidst the sounds of joy and laughter, the fangs of a viper sank into Eurydice's bare ankle. As her body fell to the earth, her soul was torn from the warmth of life and dragged into the gray, cold realm of shadows, the kingdom of Hades. From that moment on, the music died for Orpheus. He was no longer a grieving lover, but a man left incomplete. If death had taken his beloved, he would trick death, enchant it, and bring Eurydice back. He embarked on a terrifying journey that no living mortal would dare to undertake. He slipped through the cave of Tainaron, the gateway to the underworld. On the banks of the river Styx, he played such a dirge for Charon, the silent ferryman, that the old man ferried this living mortal to the other side through tears. Even Cerberus, the fearsome three-headed guardian of hell, lowered his massive heads and fell into a deep slumber under the lullaby from Orpheus's fingers. Finally, at the deepest point of the darkness, he stood before Hades and Queen Persephone. Orpheus sang a song so profound that all the torments of the underworld came to a halt. Tantalus forgot his thirst, Sisyphus let his boulder rest, and for the first time, a single tear appeared on the marble-carved face of Hades. Hades permitted Eurydice to return, but on a condition that tested the very limits of human will. Until they reached the light of the living world, Orpheus would walk in front and never look back at Eurydice following him. If they locked eyes for even a single second, Eurydice would be lost forever among the shadows. The journey began. They moved through narrow, pitch-black tunnels where silence was deafening and time and space bled into one another. He strained his ears to hear the faint footsteps behind him, to catch the familiar breath of his beloved. But only an absolute silence followed him. Doubt seeped into his mind like a dark poison, whispering of deception and empty winds. The path to the light seemed to grow longer with every stride, testing the strength of his faith. As the first gray lights of the upper world appeared at the end of the tunnel, freedom was only a few steps away. The moment Orpheus stepped into the world of the living, his unbearable longing and fear incinerated his reason. He made that fatal mistake and turned his head. In that instant, he saw Eurydice's face, pale and mournful, as if seen through a veil of mist. She reached out her hands, but as their fingers met, she began to dissolve like smoke. As she was pulled back into the dark depths of the underworld, Orpheus's hands grasped only the cold air. Her final farewell hung suspended in the infinite void. Orpheus was left utterly alone. Just as he was about to achieve his greatest victory, he had been defeated by his own impatience and doubt. For days, he waited at the gates of the underworld, but this time, neither music nor tears could open that door. The songs from his lyre no longer spoke of joy, but of an impossible longing and the terrifying weakness of the human soul. Orpheus had descended into hell to save the woman he loved, but with the very hands that sought to rescue her, he had condemned her to eternal darkness because of his own fear. Today, if the wind in the forests sounds like a mournful melody, it is the voice of Orpheus's lyre, still calling out for his beloved through the ages.